Alright guys, this is the second time I've tried to make this video, and what happens is I end up rambling on too long. It ends up being way too heated, and I don't know, maybe I'm just like way too pissed off to be making a video, but I'm going to give my thoughts on the Panini situation, and not just the Panini situation, but the card companies in general. I'm not gonna stick up for a card company in this video. So if you want to, if you have a favorite card company in out of the card companies, then I'm gonna say something bad about it in this video. So just prepare yourself, okay? And if you want to disregard some of the stuff that I'm saying, or disagree with some of the stuff that I'm saying, I think that's awesome. I'm just going to tell you my opinion and just leave it at that, okay? So, let me start off by saying some of the things that I really like about card collecting, okay? First of all, the reason why I got back into card collecting is because it's nostalgic for me. I really like cards. It's something that I collected when I was a kid, and I'm really into sports. This is sports related. It's something that I'm very passionate about, is sports. And so getting autographs of athletes is something that is exciting for me, and not just autographs, but the fact that card companies were starting to put game-used material into cards. Pieces of jersey that these players wore in games. Okay? That's what started to bring me back into the hobby. Is after high school, I started to see that card companies had really advanced to the point where they were putting autographed cards in, and relic cards, relics that these players had used in games, and that really drew me in. And I kind of went back and forth on what I liked to collect, what teams I liked, if I wanted to collect a team, if I wanted to collect a single player, and eventually I got it down to where I became a Bo Jackson super collector. I realized that Bo Jackson was the player that I liked to pick up the most, because he was my favorite player growing up, and it was really fun because I could do football and baseball and still get some of his cards, and that just made it super fun, and I really enjoyed it. Okay, so when I started to get back into the hobby, I started to get to know lots of people. I had some friends that collected around me, which was kind of cool. My best friend was collecting cards, and so it was something that we could enjoy together, so that was great. He eventually got out of collecting cards for other reasons. It wasn't these card companies, it was for other reasons, but so that kind of took a hit to my enjoying this card collecting. But by that point, I had gotten to know so many of you guys on YouTube, and we've become really good friends over the years on YouTube. So many of you. I mean, I can't even I could sit here and just talk about how much the relationships that I've made on YouTube collecting cards, how much that has meant to me. And it really is amazing. Like, the collecting cards and doing this whole YouTube thing has been phenomenal for me, and it got me through some really tough times. Those of you guys who know me and have been watching me, you know that. We've shared good times together, bad times together, and all the while, these card companies have just been letting me down and letting me down. and letting me down again, and I've been getting more let down and more displeased and more upset as time has gone on. And the more I got into this card collecting, and the more money and time that I've spent amassing my Bo Jackson collection. Now, the first thing that really started to bother me was the whole Upper Deck situation. They had some issues with people reprinting Upper Deck cards. I believe it was specifically the Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card, and just really kind of started to drag that company down into the mud. They started to make some poor decisions as a company, started to lose rights to the baseball and football, and they just slowly, their products started to get worse and worse and worse. And it was really upsetting because Upper Deck was one of my favorite products, or Upper Deck put out some of my favorite products, and I wasn't able to trust them anymore, and the products that they started to put out became so inferior to everything else that was coming out. It was really hard for me to buy Upper Deck stuff anymore. And I would do it just out of the fact that I was a super collector and I had to get it if it was Bo Jackson. So at some point I was going to have to get it, and it was kind of forcing myself to buy stuff that I didn't really like, just for the fact of needing it for my collection. And I'll give you a prime example of that. This is from 2013 Ultimate Collection Football. This is a super patch that they call it. It's numbered out of 25, 10 of 25. Now, for some people, this would really blow their skirt up. But for me, it is just, I'm not a big Auburn fan. You guys know I'm a Duck fan. I think it's cool to have some Auburn stuff, but the fact that I can only get Auburn stuff with Bo is upsetting. This says that this is a jersey worn by Bo Jackson for Upper Deck. This is not game used, and it's the poorest quality jersey that you can even imagine in this. So it's just really, really a pathetic effort by Upper Deck, and it's really sad because Ultimate Collection was one of my favorite products. So Upper Deck gave me the big middle finger, essentially, and so I was left with Panini and Topps. Panini, as you guys know, has done this fiasco with Flawless and are labeling things as game used when they are obviously not game used, and they're caught in lies about lying, and has really made the company really pathetic. And I know that you guys, some of you guys have voiced that you don't care if it's game used or if it's event used. You don't see a difference or care. You just want something that looks good, and that's fine for you guys, but for me, that's not it. If I'm spending the money that I'm spending and the money that these cards are demanding, then it should definitely be game used, and shame on them for trying to cover it up. And I really think that Panini has done for me also. So there you go, Upper Deck and Panini. Okay, Topps. That leaves me with Topps. So as a Bo Jackson super collector, I am now only able to collect from Topps. And Bo Jackson was football and baseball, so that means Panini is only going to be able to make football cards with Raiders logos for Bo Jackson, and that company has already proved to be inept and unable to produce what they say that they can produce. And so that leaves me with baseball. So all now, as a super collector, I'm left to just baseball Bo Jackson stuff. Now, let me give you a rundown of some of my most recent Topps breaks, and I'm going to have to do this quickly. So I had bought some Topps Supreme football and baseball. Bo Jackson is in both of these products. That's why I purchased it. I also did some more breaks that were broken live at the Hobby Box, and so those cards were sent to me. Out of the 6, I guess it would be, out of the 6 autographs or jerseys, or autographs and jerseys, I was only given 3 autographs or jersey cards, and I was given 3 congratulations cards. Cards that say, congratulations, we suck as a company, and we cannot get these cards for you at this time, so we came out with a product that we couldn't give to you. So we're going to give you a product of IOUs. This is a fancy little congratulations. I owe you a card. Okay? So when you buy the product and it says guaranteed 2 hits, that's not what you get. That isn't what you get. You actually get maybe 1 and an IOU. And these IOUs, sometimes you get the card that it says on there. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't get it at all. Sometimes you don't get it for years later. It's the most horrendous system that you can even imagine. And that's on top of the fact that these cards already, even if this did have game used only in it, you're still not guaranteed your money back. Okay? But anyway, I opened this pack recently, 2011 Tribute. This is still at a hobby shop that sells Topps products, current and older. I got one of these. Congratulations. But wait a second, it's expired. This redemption is expired. So when you call Topps and say, hey, I have this redemption, it's expired, they say, guess what? We're not going to do anything for you. It's expired. Because we can't guarantee that product anymore. But the funny thing is, this card, this specific card, it's now 2014 and they still haven't been able to produce this. They never did make this card. So I get nothing for this. They never would have been able to make it, and they still can't do anything for me. So guess what, Topps? So where does that leave me, guys? Huh? Where does that leave me? What can I do? What am I left to do? Do I just keep all my stuff that I have right now? All of these cards? That it's a mystery if it's game used or not? It's a mystery if these cards were even touched by Bo Jackson? That's a mystery if they were even Bo Jackson jerseys? I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, I'm going to stick up for card companies. That's what I'm going to stick up for them, is my middle finger. And I'm really pissed off right now. And who knows if I collect cards anymore. I might just collect memorabilia that I get at shows, that I get signed by myself. It's freaking ridiculous, guys.